Hey, Nikki Brown here. No matter where you are, what part of the world you're in, I hope that you're having a good day. So, I just came on here to talk about being judgmental, right? So, I was watching a sister's video earlier, and I typically like her videos. She's religious. I'm not religious. I consider myself to be more spiritual, although some people have a problem with that, but that's not my problem. But I listen to her because I'm open minded and I can hear a message without taking every little word to heart because I've been doing that for years um, for various reasons. I will say, based on a social sciences and an African American studies class I took back in 1994. So when I say a long time, I mean a long time. Anyway, um, she was basically saying how if someone goes out and they seem unkempt. Now, I do understand what she means by unkempt, but some of the examples that she used was going outside with mismatched clothes. Now, some people do not wear mismatched clothes. They don't wear the same print, right? I actually think it's very stylish and unique. Um, I'm an Aquarius. I like unique things. I like eclectic things. And so I think that that person is just putting their own unique style onto something. Whereas I do understand that some people who are more um, traditional, or they like things to be simple, they're the neutrals and browns type of people. Like, they're very, I can't think of the word that I want to say right now, but very kind of straight laced and traditional and very simple. They just want to keep things simple. Again, they're the blacks, browns, and they'll wear Reebok classics forever, and you'll never see them in a pair of Jordans. And I'm not saying anything is wrong with that. I'm just saying this is their style. I'm attempting to describe their style, right? So for someone who does not wear mismatched clothes, who wears misprinted, so it might be a plaid and flowers, whatever, to them that's like no. And so she basically also said that if the person is wearing different designers, and so her point was that they're not going to be taken seriously. So that there are a certain group of people or a certain population of people who will not take this person seriously because of the way that they are dressed, or maybe the way that they wear their hair, which that I can kind of understand. But at the same time, I think it's so unfortunate that we judge people, because the type of person that I am, regardless of what someone looks like, I judge what comes out of their mouth. Right? So it could be somebody that, again, someone else considered unkempt. Let's say, for example, someone who has freeform locks, right? That person may be considered unkempt to someone. Whereas, again, for me, I would need to have a conversation with that person. How does that person speak? What's coming out of their mouth? Even if it's a moment where they may be upset about something, are they being insulting, name calling, or are they handling the situation in still respectfully, but still speaking their mind, stating their opinion, or their feeling or their thought, right? And so I said all of that to say I just think it's very unfortunate that we are such a judgmental society, right? And why do we care so much about what someone else looks like, or how someone else dresses, or wears their hair, or what they do? I just think it's so rude, right? And again, some of the most best dressed, as they say, well kept people are are not so kind. They can be very ignorant. Um, they can be very dishonest, have no integrity at all. And so I would rather deal with someone who has on mismatched colors and freeform locks than someone who looks polished but is evil. And so that's all I'm saying. You know, to each his or her own. But I stay away from people like that. I really do. I keep my distance. And if there's whoever's meant for you, whoever's meant to like you, they're going to gravitate toward you, right? Regardless of how you look. And they may comment. There are some people that are in business and you would think they have, you know, no money as people, the way people judge, and they can be one of the wealthiest people, but when they speak, they don't sound intelligent at all, yet they have money, right? And people do business with them. And and it's all good. So I am parking my car. Hold on, sorry about that. So yeah, I just don't think it's fair to judge people based on some superficial things that don't really mean anything. Again, when people wear mismatched colors, florals, and prints, I actually think it's very stylish and cute. When people wear their natural hair, some people call it nappy. You know, I don't call it nappy. That's the hair. You know, so many people talk about how godly, talk about God all the time and claim to be such good people, but how could you say someone is ugly or unkempt based on the hair that grows out of their head that God gave them, right? That doesn't make sense to me at all. And people, again, can be very rude and disrespectful because it's not what society says you should look like, right? Society says your hair should be straight and pressed, or even if it's curly, all the curls has to be uniform and shiny and this, that, and other. Whereas again, if someone just does the hair that grows out of their head naturally, whatever that looks like, whether it's a free form lock, a loose style, a braided style, a twisted style, they feel that it has to look a certain way. But as you know, a lot of people take a lot of time to do their hair. They will wash it and condition it, and no, it may not look shiny like a weave. It may not look shiny like, they got a silk press, but they may have braided it the night before, took the braids out, and they have, what they consider a cute afro, right? But some people consider that unkempt. And I've always respected people who, wore their natural hair. I had this one young lady that I worked with when I worked at the telephone company years ago, and they would always tease her, and I always thought that her hair looked so cute. It was long, and she might wear like it's parted in half, and she might have the top half maybe in a bun to the side or something, or even a twist going across, and then she might have a bun or a puff or a ponytail in the back. And this was in like 98, 99, 2000. So a lot of people weren't confident enough to wear their natural hair, but she was. And I respected her so much and, admired her so much. She had a really thick grade of hair. My hair is very fine, so it doesn't afro. Like if I try to have an afro, it's going to fall to the side because my strands are so fine that it doesn't stand up straight like that. It kind of flops to the side. So it doesn't necessarily look fro like some people. In order to maintain that look, I will always have to get it cut into that shape. And then it would pretty much be uneven because again, it will have to be a certain length at the top even for it to stand up straight, and it just doesn't do that the way that I would like for it to. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. um but I like big hair, I like thick hair, and I love my hair. I just love my hair longer, which it's um, about armpit length, maybe about an inch or two above bra strap length. So it's actually, at one point I did grow it to waist length, but then I put color in it, and I just slowly but surely started to cut the color out, and then I end up cutting it. But anyway, I think I look better with longer hair because when I do a style, it looks thicker because it's longer. So that more strands of hair makes it look thicker, but my hair is very fine. So I just think it's so rude when I hear people talking about people, like even here recently, if I wear my natural hair to work, they'll jokingly call me silly, which I laugh, but again, I think that that's mean and rude. And I think that people should be able to wear their hair the way that they want to. And I don't think that they should be judged for it. I think people should be able to wear their clothes however. And if somebody has a certain look and you feel like you don't want to do business with them, then don't. But there are people who will. And again, I don't think that this should be a judgment. And again, don't get me wrong, because I understand where the young lady was coming from. She's talking about, someone who's really unkempt, their hair is all over the place. But I just basically took it a step further and put it in my own words, my own perspective. And I'm just saying, in general, I think it's really sad that as a society, we are judging one another in this way. That's all I'm saying. Um, And again, I don't think that how a person looks should be based on how, because there are hairstylists who don't always have their hair done, but they could do the hell out of some hair, right? I just disagree that as a society in general, these are the things that we do. You can't just look at somebody. You actually have to get to know people. I don't understand why that seems like, I don't know why people don't want to do that nowadays. It's like the weirdest thing to me that we'll just look at somebody, have a 5 minute conversation, and we judge them and know absolutely nothing about them. But we think we do based on how they looked or the conversation we had, that maybe they didn't agree with what our thoughts are. So that means they're just not good enough to do business with, to talk to be friends with, or whatever it is that, whatever that interaction was between that person. I just don't like it. So I just wanted to speak up about it. And willfully one day things can change. I'm just such an open-minded person. I just love everybody. And I just think, again, it's so sad. Like, even when me helping, homeless people, and I don't ever do it to brag, but I remember somebody saying once, homeless people, they just want to get high. And I'm like, really? There are people on the street with their children, people who couldn't pay their rent, people couldn't, you know, keep up in the rat race, people who have student loan debt. And some of these people, if you stop to have a conversation with them, they are so freaking intelligent. Even if some of the ones that talk out loud, people like to call them crazy, but if you listen to what they're saying, they are some of the smartest people. And if you actually interrupt them and have a conversation with them, some of them will have, you will have one of the most intellectual conversations of your life. But I know some people aren't interested in that because it's not Jordans or a quick weave or wig or nails or some stupid shit.